Hey everyone, we're going to take a look at my most anticipated figure of the wave, which is Cable. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, or even hit the super thanks button on my channel. I do appreciate all engagement. Quick look at the box, Marvel logo up the top, and at the bottom, some product information. On the sides, we have artwork of Cable. On the back, that same artwork, description of the character, other figures in the wave, and more product information. He's holding a large rifle on that artwork, but sadly, when we look at the figure in the box, he's still stuck with those two reused weapons. But let's get this one open anyway. Out of the packaging, he comes with the Zabu Build-A-Figure leg, two alternate weapon gripping hands, and his two weapons. Cable comes with two weapon gripping hands, both cast in the blue plastic, and there's texture for a bit of folds in the gloves on the back of the hands. Both hands are hinged up and down, which is appropriate for weapon gripping hands. And he comes with his two guns, both cast in a silver plastic with a bit of gunmetal paint applied to the barrel and handle. Both weapon gripping hands pop onto the figure just fine, and they both also hold onto his two guns very well. In terms of color palette, I think Hasbro has nailed it. He looks like he just stepped out of the Marvel vs. Capcom game. But if you're looking for something that's closer to the comics, then you would probably prefer a much darker blue for his uniform. Proportionally, the figure looks slightly top heavy, looking a little bit like he skipped leg day. And I also want to point out that all his joints are pinless on his knees and his left elbow, but the right arm does look a little dated with the exposed pins. The head sculpt is fantastically executed, flesh tone plastic for most of his head, with white plastic for his hair that has good sculpting and textures. So you see how it parts in the front and all the waves all the way to the back. The sculpting on his face is also really good. The lines are all clearly emphasized by the digital printing, and that also means very sharp paint applications for his eyes, lips, and even a nice 5 o'clock shadow. The finishing touch is that yellow translucent plastic for the glow from his left eye, looking great when everything is put together. His torso is made of blue plastic with yellow plastic straps that are jazzed up with very sharp paint applications for the X logos on his belt as well as around his chest. It's interesting that these straps are actually separate pieces slid onto the torso, and they actually extend all the way into that torso hinge. But visually it looks quite seamless with the extensions from his belt. So from the sides it might look a little odd, but that really is just a minor distraction. His metallic arm is cast in a shiny plastic. This catches the light and you can see all the lines in his arm, coupled with that rivet on his elbow. Topping it off is also a separate yellow piece of plastic for his wristband. The sculpting is also decent around his belt. You can see all that pouches, and those same pouches are also on his thigh straps. The use of different colored plastics means there's very clean color separation, and overall looking very neat and eye-catching. His legs are also that blue plastic, with yellow paint over here on his calves that are meant to match up with the yellow plastic on his boots. It's hard to apply yellow paint onto that blue plastic, but I think the color match is pretty decent, and it's applied as well as it could. So overall, I'm quite satisfied with how the figure turned out, despite having those exposed pins on his right arm. For articulation, the head's on a ball hinge, so it does go 360, getting just very minor sideways tilting, looking down all the way with his chin into his chest, and up a very good range. Swivel hinge at the shoulders for 360, as well as coming out that far. Swivel at the upper bicep. Double jointed elbows with the pins concealed on his left arm, giving you more than 90-degree range. Swivel hinge at the wrist for 360, as well as in and out. Hinge at the torso, bending forward a good bit as well as backward. Swivel at the waist for 360 spin. Ball joints at the hips that go out that far and forward and backward. Thigh swivel that's very well disguised by the thigh strap, and it goes 360. Double hinged knees for very good range. You can get him to kick all the way up. Swivel at the calf for 360. Ankle tilt that goes very good range upwards and downwards and pivoting outwards as well as inwards. Cable poses fairly well, so my only real gripe is that he should have come with a much larger weapon instead of these two guns that are reused once more. The overall color palette of the figure is great, and I really love his stern, head sculpt, and the clean color separation between the blues and yellows. I just want to do a quick comparison with the two previous versions of Cable. Again, I cannot state how much I loved this much brighter and more vibrant color palette as compared to the darker, more grungy looks on the previous two versions. He's slightly shorter than the other two, but I really do enjoy the colors of this new figure to add to my collection. And despite the different skin tones, the heads do swap perfectly between these two figures. And I guess the new head sculpt also does pop onto the slightly older Cable as well. So you can see all the heads swapped across the three figures. Cable stands at almost 7 inches, and that's about 17.5 centimeters. Naturally, he's taller than Mummy, Daddy, and Wolverine. Scaling very well with his X-Force teammates. Looking good with different versions of Deadpool. And also looking fantastic with his enemies as well. As for comparisons with other lines, here he is with G.I. Joe Classified Series and Star Wars Black Series. Cable is quite a solid release. Small gripes about this figure are his reused guns and slightly top-heavy proportions, but those aside, I'm very pleased to have this version of Cable, especially the vibrant color scheme paired with an amazing head sculpt. This is rightfully the highlight of the wave for me. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, subscribe to my channel, or even hit the super thanks button. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.